We got Paul Stewart in the house. We met off of that Showtime documentary, basically. Burn, Mother Effing Burn. Well, first of all, what did you do on that show and how'd you get involved in music?
Yeah, well, the way I remember it, I was stalking you for a while. I was a big Street Gangs TV fan, and I was writing you and trying to make you aware of what I was doing, and then we connected on that doc. I definitely told the producers they should use you. So if that's how the referral came, I don't know, but you know. Yeah, I was the music supervisor on the MF Burn documentary about the uprisings both in Watts in the 60s and the Rodney King uprising, and it was amazing project to be a part of. Mass Appeal produced it, has done a lot of great projects more recently, like that Wu-Tang bio docu-series and stuff, and it was just great to work with a company that cared about what was important and true, and trying to really tell these stories from not such a slanted perspective as they've been told from more in the past.
Well, tell us what music supervising is on basically a documentary.
Yeah, and I actually produced a little bit on that too, because I did hook them up with some people to interview and stuff too. But I got started in music supervision when I was a young manager in Los Angeles, discovering talent, and John Singleton discovered me. And it was shortly after he had done his first film, Boys in the Hood, and he was working on his second film, Poetic Justice, and he hired me to music supervise that film, and that led to my career as a music supervisor. And documentaries are similar to films the way a music supervisor works. All the music needs you have to help the filmmaker with. So if that's score that a composer writes, or if that's instrumental music that you provide from another source, or if those are songs that are used in the movie, or if there's performance of songs, or in the case of a film like Hustle and Flow, like I did, we had to make the music before the film so Terrence Howard could learn it and then perform it when they're filming the movie. But for documentaries, it's really important. I mean, sometimes you're talking about eras and times, and songs just like can communicate that better than any words. So trying to help the filmmakers find the right songs to use creatively, and then be able to clear them, because you have to deal with all the paperwork of getting the song actually cleared, and that can be a real lot of work.
Now, can you just explain what clearing is? Because that's the deal with the copyrights and the ownership of the music, right?
Right. If I want to use your song in any kind of production that I do, I need to get a license to use it. So, when we want to use big songs, sometimes there's like many different owners of both the master rights and the publishing rights. And the master rights is what the record company would typically own, and the publishing rights, or whoever wrote the song, should typically own. So the publishing can be split. If there's samples and things, there can be 8 different publishers on a song. So we have to get all parties to agree and sign off on a deal. Anyone that has any ownership in either the master rights or the publishing rights, if we're licensing it for a film or TV, has to agree and sign a license agreement. There'll be usually an upfront fee, and then when it plays on TV, it also creates residual income that comes through ASCAP BMI.
The way you got discovered by John Singleton has to go back to your early years. Was that when you were DJing?
Yes, actively. I met him DJing.
Okay, so when and how did you decide to get into DJing? You must have been a teenager at the time.
Yeah, when I first graduated high school, I went away to college, and I was living in the dorms, just a huge music fan. And we're playing our music really loud, and this is quite a variety of music. Hip hop is new, we're playing a lot of hip hop. It's like the new wave era, so we're listening to that. We're listening to a lot of classic old music like Motown, Marvin Gaye, rock music, classic rock music. There's a lot of good rock music coming out at that time too. Groups like Aerosmith and stuff still putting out like current good music. And anyway, our music, me and my roommates in the dorms used to play our music really loud, and the guy who was like in charge of the dorm activities came over one day and he said, "Hey, your music is always so loud. You do the music for the next dance, for the dorm dance." And so I made this tape, like what they call a pause tape, where I didn't have turntables, like real turntables or anything. So I made this tape where I would just play a song, pause the cassette tape at the end, and then put the needle on and start a new record and start to record right before the song started. So it was pretty much a continuous, music. And then I did the dance with these big tapes I had made, and then I had a turntable for when I had to flip the tape. I would play a song, and that was the first dance I ever put the music together for, and it was a big hit. People liked the music, and one of my partners shortly after that had gotten a settlement and got a bunch of money, and he bought turntables, and we started a DJ crew. And a third guy, that was Ernie Rodriguez, a partner of mine from Cerritos, who got the equipment. And there was a guy, Little Red, who we had met, who had moved from Lancaster area and Vegas, Lancaster area, and he was affiliated with Uncle Jam's Army. So he was a really dope DJ that could cut and scratch. And the three of us formed this little DJ crew, Club Jam, and we started doing dances and parties, and there was a guy in the dorms, this brother from San Jose, Leroy Worthy, and he had a crate of records, and it was I used to say it was every hip hop record that was out at the time. And we're talking about 82, 83 is when I started DJing, so there was not a lot of hip hop on vinyl. And so from there I just started doing clubs and house parties, and did it for 20 years.
So most of the hip hop that was coming out at that time was East Coast based, right?
Yeah, but we were really exposed to the West Coast stuff through our partner Little Red, who had the affiliation with Uncle Jam's Army. He brought the Egyptian Lover records and everything up, and the Dial-A-Freak and all this stuff. I remember he was playing and everything, and so we were hearing those early, And there was these kind of records Midnight Star was making these Freakazoid. There was the funk movement was kind of on this vibe that was kind of similar to some of those records. The stuff was going on real fast, Cameo and stuff, But yeah, so that we were playing mostly New York records at first, for sure. It was a lot of New York records because there were very few West Coast records to begin with.
Thanks for watching StreetTV.net. If you're not subscribed, please hit that button below and click the bell to receive alerts and notifications. Feel free to comment below so you can give us your feedback, and be sure to watch the 2 related episodes to the right. If you want to support this platform or follow us on social media, visit the links in the description, and thanks for watching StreetTV.net.